Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Let's talk about the impact of scarcity and abundance on supersizing and growing your business. Today we're talking about abundance mentality and mindset, abundance thinking, and scarcity mindset, scarcity thinking. Now, from a business ownership standpoint, I'm going to take kind of the opposite position or a more open position for supersize your business, because business owners use scarcity in a positive way, hopefully, to encourage sales, encourage people to make decisions. And I use that as a warning on an individual basis because marketers are brilliant, right? Media is brilliant. Politicians are brilliant at convincing us that there's scarcity and lack all over the world and that there's limited resources and this is your one time, last time ever going to be offered type thing. And as business owners, we need to use those things wisely. And when we're creating scarcity, because let's be honest, we're always just creating scarcity out of thin air. There is no only 1,000 copies of anything available, especially nowadays in the information age and the internet. I mean, at the click of a button, you can create more digital copies of anything. So the scarcity and the limited time things are things that we as marketers create to encourage people to make decisions. Why? Because as human beings, we need encouragement to make decisions. Otherwise, we'll make excuses, we'll put off, we'll postpone, we'll procrastinate, because that's part of many of our human nature. Mine for sure, and probably a little bit of yours. But just like us as individuals, we want to have an abundance mindset for our business, knowing that we can create anything, that anything is possible. Opportunities are everywhere. There's never, and the thing with the tricky thing here again is with competition. We believe that there's all this competition and that if we don't get, and this is totally a scarcity thought that we don't want to use in our business, if we don't get our piece of the pie, if we don't get our piece of the market share, somebody else is going to get it. Well, that is true and not true, right? Because you can always change your pie. You can always bake a bigger pie. You can always serve a different pie, right? And I actually love these topics because we as human beings are so intertwined with our mindset and our beliefs with scarcity and mentality and abundance mindset, mentality, thoughts, beliefs, experiences. It's something that we can work on almost on a very regular basis to improve, both as individuals and as business owners. I am a person that shies away from using scarcity with any of my businesses, any of my products and services. You know, I never had sales in my Italian food business. The price was the price. The price was the same for everybody. The wholesale price was the same for everybody. It wasn't different for one grocery store chain because they had more stores than another. It was the same. And that comes from my core values and my belief systems, which are that scarcity and lack are made up and I'm not going to participate in them. But everybody's different. Every business is different. If you've got a digital marketing firm, I guarantee you're teaching everybody or using scarcity and lack to trigger people to pull the trigger and make decisions and buy the products and services that the people you represent are offering, right? Almost every coach, every mentor, every inner circle, every mastermind, every product and service marketed, and I fall for them all the time on, nutritional supplements and things. When I was down in Texas, I just bought 6 months worth of some new nutritional supplement because I watched the whole video. I watched the whole marketing video and got sucked in because they know all the buttons to push to get you to buy. And then they get all the upsells going. I love marketing. Marketing is fascinating and fantastic, but it feels icky to me in certain ways. And so I don't like to use the tactics that a lot of marketers use. But if that's what works for your business, that's what you do. But you do that because you have an abundance mentality in your business and you know that there's always more customers, there's always more markets, there's always more resources. There's, in manufacturing, a lot of times we have challenges and problems every day. Same thing in real estate and a lot of industries, right? And if you come at it with oh my God, this is the end of the world, which is a scarcity mentality, and we're never going to figure it out, and this is the way we've always done it, and it's just not enough to go around, and there's only so many people that can get promoted in corporate America. There's only one CEO, and there's 80,000 employees. How am I ever going to succeed in this organization? Well, you might not. You might not be the CEO, but you can go start your own business and be the CEO of your own organization, your own billion-dollar business. Anything is possible if you have an abundance mentality and you believe that, you're going to figure it out. One of my favorite sayings in business is, I might not know the answer, but I guarantee I can find it and I guarantee I can figure it out. I used to get super frustrated by technological, especially computer related problems. But I realized there are other people's platforms and other people's ways of doing things. I have no control over that. And so if I have no control over it, I'm not going to get upset about it anymore. I'm just going to roll with the changes as they change and do what works for me. And that put my stress level way down from where it was, because scarcity mentality increases stress. Part of why people buy and part of why it's such a great marketing tool is people feel anxious and stressed if they think there's only so many spots or so many places. Right, this year there's only so many places, but maybe it's because you're not ready for that inner circle program or that mastermind program or that coach this year, but next year you will be, right? Maybe you're not to the level that the other people are in that inner circle and you'd struggle, and instead of struggling, the universe is saying, you need to spend another year working on yourself and on your business, and then you'll be ready. Whatever it is for you, I don't know. All right, so I want you to think about scarcity and abundance today and how you're using them as tools, positive tools to make the world a better place, please, in your business. Share in the comments below lessons that you've learned about scarcity and abundance. I've learned lessons about myself and scarcity and abundance all the time. And sometimes this morning I was questioning, okay, do I have an abundance mentality about clothing, for example, or do I have a scarcity mentality about clothing? Because I've always had a lot of clothes. I grew up in a family of all girls. We were all about the same size. So between my 4 sisters, 5 with my AFS sister and my mom, we had tons of clothes to choose from because we'd share and swap clothes. And so I've always had a lot of clothes. Well, is that because I like to have a lot of clothes? It's like a hobby. Or is that because I'm afraid I won't get any more clothes? I don't know. So that was my question today. So ask yourself a question, share in the comments below your experience with using scarcity in your business, using abundance in your business. And if you're brave, share, does your company philosophy embrace more of an abundance or a scarcity mindset? Because self-awareness for our business and for our life is critical so that we know, okay, yeah, that served us well up to this point, but we want to go to the next level. And maybe we need to make a big leap in our abundance mentality to believe that we can create that multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar business. All right, have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow.